Hey, everybody. Wanted to give a quick shout out to this short story that I've been reading or that I read in this collection of sci fi short stories called Meet Me at Infinity by James Tiptree Jr. James Tiptree Jr. is actually a pseudonym, pen name for Alice B. Sheldon. Um, what I'm noticing about science fiction when I read short stories, I'm really enjoying reading sci fi in short little snippets. I enjoy longer novels as well, but there's something really satisfying about reading a little piece of sci fi and kind of letting your mind expand and wander as to what else could be happening in the universe and the world that this is. And it's so the first one right off the bat is called Happiness is a Warm Spaceship, and it follows this captain who is, I don't want to say captain, it's like, picture like a Star Trek crew where you have like a captain and you have like different roles that you would play on the spaceship. And this protagonist, his father is very controversial in this space marine world. There are other species other than humans that exist in this, and his father is advocating for humans only space, like marines, like people. He doesn't want any other species other than humans to control spaceships and, like that type of thing. So his son is getting into this kind of world too. Doesn't agree with his father, but he is famous himself because his father is so controversial, and kind of gets stuck on the ship doing all of the dirty work that all like other space crews don't want to do, kind of doing like checks, like you fly by a planet and you're doing like a check on well-being and, kind of just things that in this world people don't really care about. So he kind of gets sucked into a world of betrayal and his father's politics, and a betrayal from his own crewmates, because his crewmates are non-humans, and they just get him mixed up into a bunch of illegal things that they're like, well, you could go along with us or you could deal with the consequences of what we're doing for the rest of your life. And he's just like, he just doesn't want any part of it. He's kind of reluctant to take this position anyway, and now he's getting sucked into these things that he just doesn't really have an opinion about. And he's trying to do the right thing. From what I gathered, he has a pretty honest outlook of and fairness about him. And I really enjoyed this story because it's one of those stories where I had to read paragraphs a few times, not necessarily because I didn't completely understand them, but this is the type of story that you can get more out of it every time you read it, where your first time you read it might be like surface level, and then if you go back and read it again, you might fill in missing pieces that you may not have caught the first time. And the more times that you read this story, it becomes a little bit more complex and fills in the missing gaps. And what I'm really liking about little short story snippets of sci-fi is that it feels like a coloring book where you've got the outline of the picture, and then you color in between the lines with your imagination. So you get a little snippet of this world, and then you can let your mind fill in what else could be going on with the politics and the other characters that exist in this world that could lead them up to this point. And it's one of those stories I'm finding that James Tiptree Jr. is writing is that the more times you read them, you can get more value out of them each time you read it. So it's also there's also some nonfiction in there, which I'm probably not going to read. I don't read a lot of nonfiction, and from what I've read after the stories, there's a little bit of information about how the story was published and all that kind of thing. And I kind of skip over those. It didn't really interest me that much. But of the sci-fi short stories that I've read so far within it, I'm loving every minute of it. And I love when books can give me great artwork like that. I absolutely love this like pastel blue and pink color, which is honestly what caught my eye from the beginning. So if you can have a book that has great artwork on it that draw me in, that's always a plus in my eyes. So if you've come across anything by James Tiptree Jr., I'd recommend that you pick it up because you won't be disappointed. So see you guys in the next video. Thanks.